What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Fresh Cuts, where we talk about the newest releases either in theaters or on your favorite streaming services. Today, we're doing a long-awaited episode, an episode we have all been so excited to do, and that is talk about Elizabeth Banks's Cocaine Bear. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-hosts, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Did you just take a hit off your arm?
My armpit.
Ew, that's even worse.
It was a dab line. It was, baby.
That's the kind of mood we're in tonight. Start snorting red or raspberry tea.
Oh
yeah, it'd be worth it.
This is exciting because this is the second Fresh Cuts of the year. You guys, of course, were on the first one, but we covered Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and now we're talking about Cocaine Bear. We're hitting them all, baby. We're hitting all the hits, babe. Yeah.
That's right. Well, we weren't allowed to be on the first one.
No,
Parker's like, no,
I said
this is mine.
Absolutely not. I mean, you guys didn't see the movie, so that was, a very minor reason. But I just said, fuck off. You're not on this one.
Oh, bother.
Mostly to Dan, and then Angela was like, I'm offended, and decided not to.
Why are both of our movies bear related? Like,
let's just keep that theme.
Bear.
All of our Fresh Cuts this year, we're just going to be bear. It has to have a bear in the movie. It doesn't have to be about that bear, but it has to be in the movie.
At least bear adjacent.
Yes, absolutely. So we're talking about Cocaine Bear. Let's talk about what we thought of this movie. So let's start over with, we'll start with Dan today.
Oh.
Dan, tell us.
I get it.
Tell us about Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, spoiler
free. Yes, I'm sorry. We haven't done many of these this year, so
I know.
I'm forgetting the rigmarole here. So yes, in the beginning of the show, we're going to do spoiler-free thoughts. Then we'll give you guys a spoiler warning, and then we're going to go full spoilers for the rest of the show. So, Dan, give me your spoiler-free thoughts on Cocaine Bear.
That was actually kind of reminding myself, just saying it out loud. Like,
I know you were the one who
like to get the right mindset. Like, I was like, okay,
it's not the normal show, guys.
It's not. I know. I was like, wait a minute. I'm rusty. So we both watched this in the theaters opening weekend at our local cinema, which was busy because the adjacent areas the film takes place in, and the ridiculous premise. Of course, it would do well in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
are you saying we're drug heads?
What else you gonna do in a small town? We're in the South. You're either going to do alcohol, the Bible, drugs, or possibly romance your relatives. I mean, it's one of those.
Or all of the above.
Or if you go too far north, it's the same in Alberta, Canada, apparently. It's like... From what I'm told.
Well, guys, just letting everybody know, for all of our audio listeners, we are also doing ASMR while we do these reviews. Just on Dan and Angela's side.
Yes, please.
I was trying not to spit my drink out.
Anyway,
we really didn't want it to come out my nose.
We're trying to figure out our audio after almost 175 episodes of the show, so bear with us here.
We're attempting to put effort in.
But this microphone is like our show. You never know what
exactly
come out of his mouth.
100%.
That's true. Or go in my nose because it's topical to the episode. But anyway, I thought I enjoyed the movie, but I had some qualms with it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the beginning of it was a little slow for my liking. Obviously, really ramps up at the end, toward the second half, I should say, not the end. Some of the characters I like, some of that I didn't. My biggest issues were I didn't care for some of the writing, especially early on, was real dodgy. Like, personally, it didn't feel natural at times. I wish the bear wasn't CG the whole time, but it's fine. There was still some good practical effects in the movie, so I can live with it. I mean, I don't think you're going to, train a real bear to do this, or make a really convincing physical prop.
Also, Hollywood doesn't like using live animals anymore.
Which is fair. I get it.
The bear's a girl.
Which, after I made my tweet that I was there, I was like, I hope he gets some help. And then in the movie, it tells you it's not. Listen, it's not a male bear.
No, absolutely not. It has some decent comedy in it, some dark humor, some pretty good kills. I like some of the actors. Some I didn't legitimately recognize. She did, but they're smaller actors for the most part. But it was fine. It was an okay movie. I think it's a one and done for me, but I enjoyed it, and it was worth seeing in the theater, except for the noisy ass people that sat behind us. But other than that, everybody else was kind of having a good time, laughing a little bit, and like, oh, and like the kills. But
those are the worst. Why do people have to be annoying?
And then you got like the little kids in the audience, and you're like, I don't think they should be here. But that's not our choice. That's
I know.
parents,
I'm
so.
like, why are there kids? And
Yeah.
they were loud.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked a lot.
Yes.
So
it was all right.
The people behind us are like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, you idiot. And I'm like, do you have to be so loud?
You can do your own commentary at your house.
And then they had like a full-on conversation between each other about not the movie. And I'm like, I'm about to turn around and say something to them. I'm like, come on. I'm trying to concentrate on this. Not that you have to concentrate much, but
I mean, we want to see how much coke. We were counting how many times the bear did cocaine. We weren't really counting. I'm just saying. Your turn.
I loved it. Was it cheesy? Yes, but it was cheesy in a good way. Loved it. I love the hikers.
Oh,
out of the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
I love them. Just a lot of the humor. Yes, it's my type of humor. I liked it. I don't know. He always says all the stuff, and then I'm sitting over here thinking, like, gosh, what am I gonna say? And then I think of all this stuff, and it's not that you say it; it just goes.
Yeah,
and I can't remember.
That's why you just gotta like make a quick note somewhere. Just like doesn't have to be long notes. Just like, here are my pros and my cons.
Horrible parenting equals funny. Like, okay, that's topical.
I didn't like the park ranger. That was about.
Yeah, I didn't care for the park ranger and her like supervisor guy, except for how he died. I kind of like how he went, but oh god, I spoiled something. I'm sorry.
I think that was in the trailer. So.
It does, dude. Listen, here you go, dude. It's a horror movie. It's a movie done like a B-style horror film. Even though I'd consider this a big budget B movie, almost everybody dies. It's just how it's just
who
fun.
He is.
Who is he?
Yeah, it's from the guy from Modern Family.
It's Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Yeah.
Oh, see, the two actors that I forgot about, by the way, that are notable actors are Ray Liotta and then Kerry Russell. Those are the two that I knew I recognized.
That Kerry Russell was in the movie because she was in every trailer. Like she's at least for a moment.
And O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yes.
Yes, because he was in another movie we talked about.
Yes, he is. He was in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
He's been a lot. He's of course, as everyone probably knows, he is the son of Ice Cube, who is O'Shea Jackson Sr. I love, there was an interview, this is a weird little side tangent, but it was like an interview with Ice Cube, and he's like, why, if somebody asked, like, why do you still go by Ice Cube? He's like, well, or no, somebody asked what his real name was. He's like, my real name is O'Shea Jackson. And he's like, I was just going to go by that at one point, but then my son got famous and his name is O'Shea Jackson Jr. and I'm O'Shea Jackson Sr. and I don't like that. So I just stuck with Ice Cube. It's like, all right.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to rain on his son. Like, okay, we'll just let him do his thing.
He's gone off ever since he played his dad in Straight Outta Compton. Yeah. He's gone off. So
I like him. He was my highlight for this movie.
Oh yeah, he was one of the best parts of this movie. There was this movie was a lot of fun. I laughed a lot. My theater experience wasn't as we had some cackling older women that sat behind us that were they had a great time. Everything was hilarious to them, and they had that loud cackle, which, you know what, at first I was like, okay, and then I was like, you know what, they're enjoying it, so good for them.
Well, that doesn't bother me when people have a good time.
Yeah.
But it's like when the people they carry on, like, okay, guys.
They have a conversation into the movie and you're just like, okay, the movie's starting. Can we stop now? And they're just continuing the conversation. I'm like, okay, let's shut up, please.
Yep.
And then the random time the cell phone rang,
and I thought it was in the movie.
loud.
I was like, who the fuck's got a cell phone out here?
It's like, this is 1985. What the fuck is this?
Or the guy that kept not yawning, but he kept sighing really loud. I'm like, are you not having a good time? If you're not having a good time, you can.
You can leave anytime now. I mean, you're obligated to stay. But no, like seriously, the way that the cell phone went, it matched the audio so well. It sounded like it was in the film,
and it was quiet at the time too. So you're like, what?
What was happening? So, I had a great time with this. I thought it was hilarious. There was so many times where I'd look over at my brother like, "What the fuck did we just watch?"
Yes.
I thought the CG for the bear actually looked pretty good for the majority of the movie, especially a lot of the close-ups. I thought was really good. There was way too many characters in this movie. Too many characters that they tried to get you to feel something for, and most of them you're just like, "Nah, it's okay. They can go. They can perish in a terrible way." Yeah, we'll talk more in detail of like what characters we maybe didn't think fit in the movie. It was just a ridiculous premise. I mean, of course, as most people probably know, this is based on a true story, and I say that in quotes because it is. So the beginning of this movie is based on the true story, and there is a black bear that does consume drugs, but the bear pretty much instantly died once it consumed those drugs.
Yes.
And didn't go on a massive killing spree as this movie would portray.
No.
So yeah, I mean, I thought this was a blast. I mean, this is definitely one of those fun creature feature movies that you can throw in. This really feels like Lake Placid. Like it has a Lake Placid feel to it. And I love Lake Placid, and it's a movie that is highly rewatchable. And this movie, once it comes out on Blu-ray, or even if it just comes out on a stream, I'll probably watch this many, many times in the future. I think it's hilarious. I think the only thing that like would keep it from me showing, like, I think my oldest son would be fine with it because it's just mostly just fake blood and stuff like that. But it's violent. I mean, this movie is violent. They do not shy away from showing you what this bear does to its victims. And and then it just kind of turns into like a sweet movie. Like it's got a nice somber ending to it, kind of, which is pretty funny. But overall, I think Elizabeth Banks, she took a risk. I know there was an interview that she did where she was pretty much stating like, this could be a career ender for me. Like if it completely bombs, or just people just give it shitty review, like this could be it for me. And I think she took a gamble, and I think it paid off. I mean, it's still in theaters right now. It's still early. I think currently it's at $54.3 million at the box office, which on a $30 to $35 million budget, and this movie got campaigned so hard. The ads for this movie were everywhere.
Yes, they were.
So I'm guaranteeing it's probably going to have to get close to $100 million for it to be deemed a box office success, and I think it could get there. It's still early. We still got time.
Yep.
It was at a nice, sweet hour and 35 minutes, which is chef's kiss. And it didn't feel like it was dragging on. Like you said, the beginning was a little slow, but I liked where we were going. It was trying to introduce all these characters. But like I said before, if they just shaved a couple of those characters off, we would have had a shorter beginning of the movie. Let's go through. So, of course, as we said, directed by Elizabeth Banks. This isn't her first time directing movies. She did direct the Charlie's Angels remake from a couple years ago. She did Pitch Perfect. She did one of the Pitch Perfect movies. I think it was Pitch Perfect 2.
Pitch Perfect 400.
Let's see. Let's look at her. Of course, it's not going to tell me what she directed. Thanks, Wikipedia. You suck.
Yeah.
I think
IMDb knows.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I keep relying on. Okay, so she directed
movie
Pitch Perfect 2, Charlie's Angels, and then Cocaine Bear. And then she directed a couple shorts and a segment of a movie called Movie 43, which is a god-awful movie. This was written by Jimmy Warden, who wrote The Babysitter Killer Queen, which was a Netflix movie starring Samara Weaving, who
Mhm.
we talked about in Ready or Not. He's also making his directorial debut with a movie with Samara Weaving called Borderline.
Okay.
So yeah, he's got very few credits to his name. Our cast for this movie is huge. We have Kerry
Yeah.
Russell. We have O'Shea Jackson Jr. We have Christian Convery, who was that?
Little
Oh,
kid.
That
boy.
was
Little
the kid,
Henry.
the boy there.
Yeah,
We have Alden Ehrenreich. I can never pronounce that man's last name. He played Han Solo in Solo, a Star Wars story.
What?
Oh, right there. I was like, wait a minute.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was that fucking guy?
Mm-hmm. We have Brookline Prince, who played the daughter, the little girl. We have
Yep.
Isaiah Whitlock Jr.
Brooklyn.
played the cop there.
Yep. Bob.
We have Margot Martindale, who plays the park ranger, who she's always great. I mean, her character in this is so ridiculous, but
Yes.
she can play all types of roles. I've seen her do everything.
Yeah.
She can play a dead serious character, and then she plays something like this. And then unfortunately, this was Ray Liotta's final film of his career. He died back in May of 2022, and god damn, that man was such a good actor. So this was also produced by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who were behind the Lego movies. The Lego movies. They were also produced the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and the upcoming Across the Spider-Verse movies. They were also involved. I think one of the reasons probably why Alden, whatever his name is, got cast was because they were originally involved with the Solo movie before they were pushed out, and Ron Howard became the director.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So there's all that fun stuff. So let's get into the spoilers of Cocaine Bear. So if you haven't seen Cocaine Bear and you don't want to be spoiled, make sure to go check it out. It's still in theaters. It's a great time. It's a great theater experience. Go. It's an hour and a half. It'll fly by. And then come back and listen to the rest of this review. If you don't give a shit about getting spoiled, stick around because we're about to spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go. All right. So let's talk first about the characters. Like we had stated, there is way too many characters in this movie. Now let's go around and talk about the characters we think could have been cut.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the police chief or the policeman.
I think all the police stuff just out of the movie.
Yeah.
I know. I don't give a fuck about Bob and his dog problem. I really don't care.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that was one thing
care.
I just did not give a shit about. I didn't care about Bob and his dog. And to be honest, nothing happens with Bob other than he gets shot and his partner or the person he thinks it was just a weird situation that didn't need to be in it because she didn't need to be in it either.
No.
Because what does she do? Overall, I don't know.
The scene you get where they introduce the fact that the bear is snorting cocaine, but that could have been done in a billion ways and not involving either of them.
Yeah. I think like we stated, O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character and oh my god, I need to find out what his name in the movie was. So Eddie and David, I liked those characters, but I didn't need all of the earlier shit.
Yes.
Eddie's wife died and he's really, really sad, but he's also a shitty father because because his wife died. He literally dumps his kid off to his drug dealing father, who clearly is not a good dad himself, played by Ray Liotta, who plays Sid.
He even says to himself, "Why'd you leave him with me? I'm a bad father.
I am not the prime example of a good father."
I know, I guess it's the tongue-in-cheek dark humor of the show, but I was like, the guy's got a point. I mean, why did you fucking leave him?
I mean, that scene where David meets Sid in the fucking pizza place, and the kid's playing in like a ball pit, and this is not where he wants to be.
No.
He's like, go find my stupid son and get him here because I'm sick of this shit. This is not what I do. Oh man. So, fun fact, I want to back up. So, the actor who plays Andrew Thornton, who was actually one of the few actual people, like this is based on, that was the guy throwing the drugs out of the plane. Like that was the guy. So he's played by Matthew Rhys, who is married to Kerry Russell. They were in The Americans together, the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Kudos, that little thing. Yeah, because he's like right there at the beginning, which is like, oh, this is the thing I've actually heard about.
Yeah. I was watching that scene and like you can't really see his face because he's wearing like goggles and stuff because he's preparing to jump out of the plane, and the entire theater just like burst out in laughter when he jumps and bashes his head off the
Yes, I'm like, oh, we got a few of those.
But I was like, oh, I reckon, who is that guy? And then it was Matthew Rhys, who he's actually playing Perry Mason on the HBO show. He's a really good actor. I really like him, but I thought that was pretty funny because I was like, oh shit, he's married to Kerry Russell, who's also awesome.
Damn it!
And I highly recommend The Americans, even though I still have not finished that show.
You can't, like, Perry Mason gets brought up because Perry Mason is, of course, the old detective drama from the 50s or the court drama from the 50s.
Yeah.
Which I can't think of the actor who plays it, but he plays the main character in the American adaptation of the original Godzilla. Steve Martin. It's not his name, it's his character's name.
Oh.
So it's just this, whenever I hear Perry Mason, that's what I think of, and I can't think of the actor's name.
Perry Mason is also one of my favorite Ozzy Osbourne songs off his 1995 album Osmosis. Just wanted to
I don't know if I've heard that song.
It's a great song.
Fuck.
I was obsessed with like late 90s Ozzy when I was growing up.
Nothing wrong with that.
So just too many characters, I think, and they try to like make you care about, like they try to like get you involved with a lot of these characters where I'm just like, no, I just know they're going to be bear fodder. So let's just get to that. Because
the teenagers or whatever.
One teenager out of that group was fine. The one that joins David and Eddie on the journey to find the drugs, whatever. But like the leading up to that, where David has to beat the shit out of them all in the bathroom. I'm like, who is beating people up at the park, like at the state park bathroom?
And then they're just like
happening?
lifting shit off of the park like office, like they're selling little things. This dude's just like one fucking scummy little shit's put in his pockets.
Into your pockets.
So, in actuality, this bear consumed 75 pounds of cocaine.
IRL?
In real life, yeah.
No,
it was 175-pound bear. It opened. There was 40 open plastic containers of cocaine. And pretty much it just consumed so much cocaine that its heart just exploded. And it's currently on display in Lexington, Kentucky.
We've been there. Not to the bear, but we've been to Lexington.
And people put it wears hats all the time. People like put hats on it. So like throughout the year it gets different hats. I love the nicknames. I got to go back to the page that has the actual thing.
It's I know what it is.
There's two of them. There's two of them.
Damn it! No.
And they're both gold. I just want a shirt that says Pablo Escobar.
Yes, that's the one. Yes.
And I want the bear, but like with like Pablo Escobar's like cool mustache.
Yes, please.
And then there was Cokie the bear. That's a shirt. I want Smokey the Bear on a shirt, but he has a fucking white line right above his. Oh my god! No. I don't know if my wife would let me wear that in public, but I want that shirt.
Don't let her repress you.
I still want a poster of the bear, cocaine bear in the Big Blue House.
Oh yes, man!
Cocaine bear. Yes.
To be honest, though, I really just want to find a shirt of the. I love the cover of this movie, where it's just the bear and then it's like the explosion of the cocaine around it. I just want a shirt with the bear. Just that. I don't even need it to say cocaine bear. I just want that shirt, which I probably can find.
Yeah, all the memes involving the poster with various other bears has been golden.
Dude,
like, I love those.
That was my favorite one. I love
that. Was good. That was
but yeah,
good.
Cocaine. Oh man, you could do. I mean, literally everything. It's endless. There's so many things. Berenstain Bears.
Oh, you could do Winnie the Pooh.
We could do Winnie
Oh,
the Pooh.
he's already murdering people in movies.
But is he
He can
doing it
murder
for
people with
cocaine or
cocaine.
while on
No, he's got
cocaine?
honey. That's his cocaine.
That's true. Do you imagine how hard it'd be to snort that?
I just love when
Go ahead.
I just love when you click on Cocaine Bear on Wikipedia and it tells you it's like cause of death, cocaine overdose. Just like,
No
this
shit.
can't be real, man. Can't be real. Oh,
I love
God.
I love their tag. Get in line.
Yeah,
I love
great.
that.
It's great.
Good on you guys. Good on you guys.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's not a major story here other than the fact of like this guy, Andrew C. Thornton II, he dropped a lot of cocaine. He was supposed to go down with it to kind of retrieve it. And unfortunately, in actuality, he like couldn't get his parachute to open and he fell to his death. I think they made it a little bit more dramatic by him fucking headbutting the top of the plane, which could have happened. No one was, it was literally him. So
yeah, because weren't they trying to figure out why his parachute didn't open?
Yeah. So yeah,
so
it could have happened that way. That's probably why they added that piece.
Yeah.
But
apparently he was he was an over the top individual. People that knew him before, like in real life, apparently he was just batshit fucking crazy to begin with. So.
Which fits the way that when you first see him and he's like fucking dancing around and tossing these bags of coke out of the plane. I'm like, this man is just living his life right now.
He's like football hiking him out the door and shit. I was like, who's flying the plane?
I think it was going down.
Alan. Get out of here, Raptor!
Yeah.
I wish there was a scene he just turns around and grabs like a pilot and he's like, no, brother. They have to find one of us in the wreckage. I'm sorry. That's an excuse to talk about Bane.
So, yeah, I mean, every time, I mean, they do really make this suspenseful. There are scenes like when the two kids are out, skipping school and they're out walking the trail and they're just having the funny thing is like do you think kids were talking like this back in 1985? Or is this more of like how they were talking now?
I think there were some group of kids that probably did, but I think this may be geared slightly more to cater to modern sensibilities.
Yeah.
We cussed when our parents weren't around.
I really didn't. Not until I got older.
Because I knew I wouldn't get away with it with them around.
She does it all the time around me. I don't know how she thinks she can get away with it. I'll rat you out.
You already have.
Yeah, because Henry was a little over the top.
Yeah, he was a little. I'm like,
Even as a character, like, I didn't mind him, because you know how I am about kid actors usually. But, like, some of his stuff, I'm just like, nah. It goes back to the writing thing. He's supposed to be the comic relief, but sometimes it's just like, okay.
The character that I've seen people that actually, a character that I feel is right split down the middle, because I've seen people like really enjoy this character, and you guys have stated it too. And then like for me, the park ranger was just played by Margot Martindale was just so out there, man. Like she's doing all this to impress this guy who is also he's like the park auditor. I was like, that's a thing. And he's the biggest goofball. And it's funny because it's Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family, which he's probably been in other things, but that's what he's most famous for. And he's almost unrecognizable. Like I saw this trailer so many times and he was in the trailer and I was like, who is that? And then when I saw his name pop up in the credits, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, that was a whole weird situation. And just kind of the, like anything to have to do with the park ranger just felt weird.
Yeah.
But like they made it so like she was the reason certain things would happen. So it was like, oh, she can't be that. She's not that useless. She's going to do this, which will lead to this.
Yeah.
Like when they get to the tree and Henry's up in the tree and she's kind of just standing there. And for one, she does not know how to use her gun, which was
not worth a shit.
Hilarious. Especially when she blows that kid's head off.
Oh, yeah.
And she just doesn't give a shit. She like literally is in like shock. She doesn't even care. The guy's like, you killed him. She's like, shut up. Get the fuck back. Because she's just worried about the bear outside.
Yeah. Well, I will say now that you mentioned the scene with the trees, that's probably one of the more suspenseful scenes for me. I like that one. And then when they're in the cabin, the office cabin.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I thought it was pretty good because, like, anyway. But yeah, you just got to see it, guys. Just see it. You'll
Seriously.
understand.
I mean, if you're here right now, you should have already seen it.
Yeah.
So I do like the fact that they made it so the reason, I mean, of course, the reason initially you think why the bear is acting as crazy as it is and homicidal is because it's high on cocaine, which probably is the reason why, mostly. But then you find out, at first you find out it's a girl because it lays on top of Eddie, and they say something about like, oh, that's a big boy, and he's like, it's not a boy. He's like, what? It's not a boy. Why? Because its vagina's like in my elbow or something or stuff like that.
It's on his face.
Yeah, he's like,
Which I'm like, damn, how high is a
face.
bear's vagina? Because I swear to God, the bear laid on top of you like perfectly. Like its head was by whatever.
Schrodinger's vagina. It's just like,
I was like, I'm pretty sure a bear's vagina is like a dog's. It's like in the back of the body, but whatever. I don't know bears anatomy.
The exhaust.
Yeah.
But
But then you find out that it's got cubs, and I was like, okay, I like this better. I like the fact that it's not just a bear high on cocaine doing all these homicidal things. It's being because black bears are very protective of their cubs, as are all bears. But mostly the only reason why black bears would be aggressive is if they have cubs. Usually black bears are one of the more docile bears. Like they would rather just run away from you than try to attack you. That's why they say that saying in the movie where it's like, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay on the ground, which is like, that's legit. Like if you go up against a grizzly, you lay the fuck down and play dead.
Yeah, because we have black bears here.
Yeah.
And they're very skittish. Like they even say, like, if you see one, just stay on your ground, make yourself look as big as possible, make a lot of noise. That's what they recommend.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Don't climb trees.
I've had
like they do in this movie.
I love that where he's like, bear, it's okay. Bears can't climb trees. Of course they can. Well, then why are you up there?
Yeah. It's a valid point.
Well, I love that the bear is just so addicted to cocaine that like it like sniffs it in the air and it attacks that guy just because he's covered in coke. And I was like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous, but I'm loving every second of it, man. It's so great. I mean, not to like nitpick the dumbest, like one of the most ridiculous plots ever, but like when the bear swallows the complete brick of coke, I was like, that bear's dead immediately. That bear cannot swallow. I mean, I guess bears can swallow pretty big pieces of meat, but that's a solid brick of coke. Like that thing is just swallowing right now. And I just love Eddie's reaction to his dad when he finds him later. He's just like, the bear did coke. The bear did cocaine.
Yeah, and like that would dry you the fuck out.
Yeah.
You just
I can only
ate that.
imagine.
Yeah.
It's like the cinnamon challenge.
Oh, as somebody who did that as a teenager, no, thank you. No, thank you. Never again. What'd you guys think of the scene where the kids are trying it? Did you think like that was necessary or like that didn't need to be in it?
No, I didn't. That could totally been just overlooked.
Yeah. It was one of those things like, okay, I don't think we needed to see. I mean, I know it's not real. It's a movie. It's not real. Yeah. But like, we didn't need to see kids trying cocaine.
Yeah.
I think it would have been funny. I think it would have been funny if you had the story where Henry's saying that he's tried it before and Dee Dee doesn't believe him. And so he's like, okay, we'll try it. And then he like is about to do it. And then he's just like, no, not now. Or like chickens out. But the fact that they like actually eat it. Well, not really. They put it in their mouth and then spit it out. But it's like, we didn't
you're
really
still getting in your mouth,
that.
Man.
Yeah, you're still being affected. Because he even states he's like, what happens if you accidentally eat some?
Just a slow way getting into your body, man.
I'm like, oh boy. I really liked the ambulance drivers or the EMTs. They were funny.
Yeah.
One of them is a TikToker. One of the guy is a known TikToker. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember like the video. He did a lot of like retail centric videos.
Yes,
Where
he
he, like,
does all the
reacts to-
awesome retail stuff.
Yes, it's like reactions to
Yes.
like what customers say to you.
Because I'm like,
Where it's got that like really epic music in the background.
Same.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, I remember
like,
seeing the trailer. I was like, oh my, it's that guy. I don't know what his name is. Is
Scott.
it Aaron Holiday? Because
No, it's
No.
Scott Sess.
Oh, Scott Sess. Yes, he plays Tom. Who the hell is Stash? I'm looking at these characters' names. I, to be honest, didn't know
It's
half these
one of
characters'
the.
names.
This is the
It's one
warning
of the
kid that's stealing
kids,
shit in the
yeah.
office.
Oh, right. The pointless fucking teenagers.
Oh,
Even
no,
though
maybe it's-
that one
Is it-
teenager, though, like I said, the one that
Are you
joins
sure?
David and Eddie, I thought he was funny. Like, I like it. Just kind of the only thing that was weird is like his tonal
No, it was him.
switch.
No, it was him. Wrong kid. Wrong kid.
Yeah, because
that the one that
Vest is
sticks
the
with him
other-
is Stash. That's
Yeah.
Aaron.
and Vest is the
Okay.
other
Vest is the other one.
scrawny guy,
Yeah.
and then
So,
Ponytail is the one that
gets his head.
gets his head blown
Oh,
off.
he
Yeah.
gets destroyed.
Speaking of that, you talk about Stash, the kid that sticks around with them. I just love the conversation between him and Eddie and just how fucking fed up David is during that whole thing. He's like, would you just shut up and take us to the gazebo? Like, and he's like helping out Eddie genuinely. Like, it's like
Yeah.
this actual genuine,
Yes.
like, and he's just like,
But David is
He's
like,
like, couldn't
just
you-
shut up.
I was like, could you just like, just relax, man? He's like, well, I didn't feel like getting stabbed today, but that happened.
yes.
And I just love. He's like, I really
Yeah.
like this jersey. As he's like, he like takes his,
Yeah,
he wears it, but then he like has to use it to cover his hand when he gets the 2 fingers shot off. Which that was
How is
another
that
one.
even-
How does that even happen? They're not even next to each other.
I love that they pointed that out. I was like,
well, I
and his
love when
shoots. He
he's.
doesn't want his shoots getting fucked up
Well,
either.
I love when David is trying to find a different shirt to wear, and he picks up the one skinny kid's. He's like, not
Nope.
gonna happen.
Nope. Yeah, I thought it was funny that he picks his fingers up and has Eddie put them in his pockets, which
He's like,
comes up later. Did you see
Yes.
the end scene where
Yes.
he gets home and he goes to reach in the pocket? Oh, no, they were
They-
there, I swear. And he's like, it's fine. I don't think they were going to be able to get reattached
Yep.
anyways.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
They ain't putting those back on.
But yeah, everything with the bear, all the kills were freaking crazy. The
Oh yeah.
I think Peter, who played by Jesse Tyler Ferguson, I think his death, they cut away from his for a while, but it was I liked his kill because the fact that you hear him screaming the entire time and you just see him
Yes.
hanging, but you know the bear's like eating his torso, but you can't
Oh, yeah.
see it, but you just see the blood just start like pooling down his face. And then he just starts and then he goes from like screaming to like gurgling, and you're like, holy shit. I didn't need to see anything to know that was fucking insane.
Well, yeah, because it's like it first starts off by like gnawing on his thigh.
Yeah.
Like before, because it starts transitioning you down. That's where you see it bite before you kind of get that cut away, and then it's just blood, and then the body
Yeah.
falls. I was like,
Which he would have bled out a lot faster than that, hitting that main artery in his leg.
Oh yeah.
It would have.
yeah, no bueno. That's what it is.
I mean, they didn't shy away from a lot of things. I think one of my favorite reveals is the one when the EMTs show up, and the guy, he opens up the door, and the bear, which you see in the trailer, which is unfortunate, but it's when the
Yeah.
bear comes out of the shadows, all blood, blood on his face, but you don't see what happened before, which is you see one of the teenagers' bodies, and its head is in a bucket, and the bucket tips over, and its head comes out, and then the bear comes out, and the whole door thing, which I love that entire sequence.
Yeah.
I was disappointed though when they cut away when the bear gets on the roof, and they're like, oh, it's on the roof, and then it just cuts away from it, because then you get that later reveal that the bear got in and fucks everybody up. But
Dude, the worst one for me, two of them. I don't remember who it is. Somebody gets bit like on the back of his head, like right this, like that just fucking bothers me. I don't remember who it was. Somebody just gets like chomped. Like it doesn't kill him, but it's part of the attack scene right on the fucking back of the head.
Wasn't it one of the kids?
It may have been. I don't know. But it's when the other EMT, the male EMT, it's right when they're in the ambulance. The bear's in the ambulance with them, and they're about to wreck. It's when he puts his wrist down, and it's like severed
it's like,
here. And it's just and I'm like on the ground. I'm like, oh
yeah.
Oh, you think that's worse than the Ranger Liz getting her face scraped across the ground?
Right,
with
that wasn't
gurney?
good either. That wasn't good either. Like,
That whole ambulance,
fucked up.
one was fucking insane. Like that
Yes.
bear is running at like 50 miles an hour, which is not possible for a bear.
I love that
I
whole
think so.
scene.
But the fact that bear, it literally crashes through like, it's just one of those things like, once this bear is on cocaine, it is indestructible. It is the Terminator bear. And it just crashes through the sign, and it's running. It literally like uses the hill to like give itself momentum to like be able to lunge at the ambulance.
That's what high on drugs does. It makes you not feel anything.
It was crazy. And the one ambulance driver gets flung out of the van because she's not wearing her seatbelt, and he just gets mauled.
Oh, I love it.
That whole it was just a lot of fun. This movie.
I like how the cocaine they use the cocaine in this movie for the bear, like Popeye does with spinach, because later in the movie, after it falls down the waterfall, and then like the one brick cat falls down there, and it's like superpowers. I am revived.
But also, like the cubs are also consuming the cocaine, which I'm like, well, those bears are instantly
they look
dead.
like polar bears.
They're instantly dead. Like those cubs are not. So it's literally making it out like these bears are just like cocaine is their superpower. Like it's like their spinach for Popeye. It does not hurt them. It just makes them stronger.
That's it.
But yeah, there wasn't really a moment in this movie where I looked at it and went, oh man, that CG's kind of dodgy. Like it doesn't really look that great. I mean, for a CG bear, for the budget they had for this movie, with all of the people they had in this movie, I thought this bear looked damn good, especially in those dark. The waterfall scene, of course, is in the dark, and then of course when it comes out of the shadow and inside the cabin, it looks really good.
Well, even like you can. Obviously, like most CGI, you can tell it's CG, like you said. But
absolutely.
Like you said, it's not bad. It's very presentable.
No, they're going to use a real bear.
But the practical, the practical still look good too. Like the practical effects they used.
Did they use practical in this?
Pretty sure the dude's hand when it was fucked up and stuff, and some of the other like.
Oh, okay. So a lot of the kill.
Not for the bear, but like
I was going to say
the gore.
Remember that.
Some of the gore CG, but some of it's practical. It's like, oh, that looks good.
Yeah, I mean I had a blast with this movie. I definitely am going to watch this again. It's one of those like a lot of people hate when you talk about like, shutting off your brain and enjoying something. It's like, this movie is literally shut your fucking brain off and just sit back and relax and have a good time.
Yeah.
Maybe enjoy some legal enjoy some legal whatever you enjoy. And sit back.
On your state.
Yeah, exactly. and just have a good time and watch Cocaine Bear. I mean, literally, the movie is called Cocaine Bear. Like, how serious can you take it?
Very much plays. It very much. It's very on the. It knows what it's doing. It knows itself. It knows what it's trying to do. Yeah.
I love when the mom and the kids are leaving at the end and they pass by the ambulance wreck.
Like, don't look.
And he's like, I kind of want to look.
Don't look at that. Don't look at that.
And she's like, just don't look.
Yeah, that was good. Also, we forgot to talk about Olaf and Elsa, which I thought was funny that they named these two characters that.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
So
I love Olaf though.
Is he from Game of Thrones?
Yes,
he is. Okay,
he plays the big Scottish guy.
He's Tormund Giantsbane.
Yeah,
he's from the prequel Thing movie as well.
Oh yeah, I still have not seen that in full.
Neither have I.
But yeah, I thought that whole opening was great. Like they give you these characters like in love. They're talking about getting married. They're having a great time. But you're just like, that this is where it opens. This is your opening, and they don't put it lightly. Like this bear is already on a rampage. Takes Elsa out and just mutilates her. And then later on, Sarah, Kerry Russell's character, they find him in the woods right outside the cave.
Yeah,
she's like,
do you have kids? Yeah, she's like, do you have kids? He's like, I was going to.
Yeah, I just thought
Texas.
Texas. Yes.
But that was where you hear the line about the if it's black, fight back, if it's brown, lay down.
Mm-hmm.
Which because the bear's like scratching itself up against the tree, and I just thought that whole scene was great. And it's just like
first headbutting the tree.
Yeah, and it's like that one. There's something wrong with that one.
Yeah.
I just like where it's like, oh, maybe Elsa's gonna escape her attack, and it's like, and then her leg just flops in front of him. It's like, oh no, she's done.
Apparently not.
Nope, she's gone. She's gone. But yeah, I mean, other than like just characters who didn't need to be in the movie, like Bob and his dumb dog, and an Officer Reba, because she was part of that whole thing. I just those are the only kind of and the teenagers, the whole thing with them. I think it would have been just good if I don't know. I guess it all links up because it was the reason why David takes him to go find the drugs. Like if they didn't get into the fight, I don't think it would have happened that way. So I guess that makes sense. Also, when Stash talks about his dreams of going to, was it LA or New York?
I can't remember. It was one of those two.
And he talks about how like he talks about his other two friends, like those are my bros. We do everything together, and it just shows all three of them. One of them is holding his head because he lost his head. The other one's just got half his face is gone. And then Stash is like, yeah.
Probably not gonna happen.
I was like, oh no,
dude. It's like I said, it's very aware with its dark humor at times, and it's pretty good.
And you know what? It's very unfortunate that Ray Liotta passed away at a young age, but he went out with a pretty gnarly kill in this movie. Like his death was pretty gnarly. Like he pretty much gets like disemboweled by the bears, and they're just enjoying him, and then they just push him off the side of the cliff and just.
Yeah, I thought of. I was like, oh, it's Mr. Ludlow from Lost World.
Yeah, pretty much. Except for you get to see everything in this one. I want to make can we get a rated R? We need Steven Spielberg to release his rated R cut of Lost World so we can see Ludlow just getting completely destroyed.
Listen. This is my plea that nobody's going to listen to. I want Amazon, Netflix, somebody to release an MATV version of the original Jurassic Park, but base it upon the novel and make it a series, like a one-season series.
That would be good.
Like the original story, not the movie.
I just don't think anyone's going to do it because of how popular it is. It's just never going to happen.
I know it's not.
I want that too, but it's never going to happen.
It's an empty cry for help.
Yeah, and then and then the final shot with the bear, the bear and her cubs are having a good time, and the people are photographing. It's like, oh, why is it looking at us like that?
Yeah. And then it's like the bears were never found, or whatever,
Well, yeah, it was like, well, they said something about like the bear, or they talk about the cocaine, the duffel bags. Like there's still bags out there to this day. I'm like, oh shit! Yeah. I can guarantee there's people that still try to find those bags.
Probably.
It's pretty funny though, as they're like, it shows you as they're like walking through the woods that they actually, you could see duffel bags that they never notice. Like
I see some of those.
Walk. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Well, yeah, I think that's about it for Cocaine Bear. This was a lot of fun. We had been talking about doing this fresh cut for a while, since pretty much I think the movie was announced. So to be able to finally talk about it, and maybe down the road when it comes out on Blu-ray or whatever, or maybe probably not, maybe not this year, but sometime we'll actually do a full length episode on it. Because even though it doesn't really have the biggest, most in-depth plot, I think it would be a lot of fun to go from start to finish of this movie and do a full-fledged episode. Maybe get a guest on. This would be a fun guest spot movie.
Let's get a bear expert.
Yes. I had a lot of black bears I had a lot of black bears used to go through my backyard when I was a kid. And actually one time my dog chased a bear and her cubs up a tree.
Oh, there you go. That's an awesome dog.
They come into town all the time.
Yeah, we used to hike up in the Smoky Mountain National Forest, and you'd see the mark where they claw on the trees. The mark, you'd see that shit.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen. Well,
they are quite high.
Okay, so we can tell bear stories. I've talked about this before. I'll mention it one time here because it's relevant. We were in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, doing work, and we were coming in on the main road in. I don't remember what road that is. Up the Parkway, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, main road in.
I don't need to know that.
Yeah, but people that have been there might understand. And you come into town, and the first red light you hit is there's a golf place on your left, and a gas station and a convenience store. we're sitting here. We're on between we're on the left side. Sorry, we didn't go through. We're on the left side between the gas station and the golf place, and we're just sitting there and with my friend, and he's like, "There's a bear," and it just walks through town, busy as fuck, through the gas station parking lot, across the road, right into the open door of the convenience store across the street.
There's so many videos of people in Gatlinburg.
No, I know.
Of the bears they're just like watching them go in. Like, I would not be.
I was like,
close.
nah, dude. Nah.
To tell a bear story, where I live, which funny enough, everybody, is where Elizabeth Banks is from. So there you go. I live in like a rural neighborhood. Like my neighbors are like right there. Like I live in a suburban area. So there's not a lot. There's woods across the main road where bears actually will come from, or there'll be bears from another set of woods over here, and then they'll have to come through all of these neighborhoods to get to the other side. Well, there was a juvenile bear that came through our neighborhood, and it was like, no joke, was like 5 feet from this bear as it was like running through our neighborhood, like trying to get it. We were trying to force it to go across the street so it could get to the woods, because it was young, so it was confused, and it was like trying to go in places it didn't want to. It was hopping fences. It literally like burst through a fence. Like it tried to climb it and it broke the fence because I watched it.
Oh,
yeah.
That's crazy.
And it was pretty wild. And yeah, like I lived up in a couple towns from me is where I grew up, and it was on a mountain. And we lived in the woods, so there were bears all the time. We had a bear literally take our garbage can full of garbage from our garage, from our yard down to this ravine that separated our yard from our neighbors, all the way to our neighbor's house. Just garbage everywhere.
I believe it.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
There's so many houses around here that they have their trash in bear-proof metal lock boxes.
All the cabins are like that. If you stay at a cabin here, they very specifically have rules like don't leave garbage out. If you put it in the designated areas, all that shit.
Yeah. We had my mom had like a bird feeder in the middle of our yard, and we had a bear literally like climb on it and tip it over so I could eat the bird feed. Noticed my mom was looking at it, got curious, walked up to the kitchen window, and propped itself up and kind of looked inside the window like, "What's up?" And my mom and I was like in the living room, and I walk into our kitchen. My mom's like in the fetal position, like in front of the sink, and all I see is a fucking bear's face just looking in our window. I was like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Guys,
bears are great.
I can just imagine Parker walking by. I got this. Rolls up a newspaper. No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so you know where Weigel's is now. There used to be a Shoney's there.
Yeah.
There was a bear there.
In the Shoney's?
Like in the Shoney's parking lot.
Oh, I thought it was inside, like ordering food. Shoney's is so safe.
Black bears are good.
I'm sorry. They usually don't cause problems.
Yeah. I've also heard they're very hard to hunt. They're very elusive.
I believe it. Just don't fuck with their kids. Like, if you see a bear or cubs, just stay the fuck away. If you see cubs,
get the fuck out of there. Run as fast as you can.
The one bear that we saw running through the yard on the way to our house, and it just tripped and it just rolled.
Well, I've seen them scared at like a resort, and they just climbed up to the top of this tall ass tree. And it was just people were like taking pictures of it. It was a little ways away, but you could see they were scared at the top of the tree. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
I just want you to go away so I can get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh,
can't shit in peace. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Well, I think that's enough of Cocaine Bear today and all of our fun bear stories. Make sure to, if you, wherever you listen to us, make sure to rate and review our show. It helps us get into more people's ears. So Apple Podcast, Good Pods, Spotify, whatever app you use, if you can rate and review us, please do. It helps us a lot. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below and tell us what you liked or disliked about the movie. And maybe you can leave some suggestions on what you'd like to see us cover on Fresh Cuts going forward. There's a lot of good movies coming out. We're not going to be doing as many Fresh Cuts as we did last year, just because we have other plans with the show, and the main podcast is our main focus. So we're going to be changing the formats of what we do. So, but if you guys have a suggestion on something, like, it's fun to cover movies like this instead of covering the movies that I mean, I know most of everybody is covering Cocaine Bear, but this was one we were excited to do. But if there's like some obscure movie that we can all kind of check out, maybe on a streaming service, in theaters, if we're able to all check it out, let us know down in the comments or wherever. If you can leave us a review, that'd be fantastic. You can follow us at Dissect That Film on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We don't do anything over on Facebook, but you can follow us there. And I'm starting to post TikTok, so go follow us on TikTok. We're at Dissect That Film over there. I'm posting clips of episodes we've released. I'm going to be posting some clips for episodes that are coming up, and I'm going to be creating some personal other content for it too. So yeah, go check us out over on TikTok. And yeah, you guys have anything before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Oh, I got one. Remember, kids, bears are crazy. They'll bite your head if you're wearing steak on it.
Oh, Kentucky Shark, you shouldn't be outside.
What?
Why did the shark explode? Well, sometimes sharks' brains and sexual organs get mixed up with M80s, causing them to explode. This attracts bears.
Space Ghost.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
That.
So a few other things. I just recorded an episode with the guys over at Seismic Cinema. We talked about Scream, the original Scream from 1996. So make sure to check that out. I think it'll be released next week, probably Monday, I think is what they said. And make sure to check out our podcast episode this week, where Tony from Hack the Movies joined us to talk about a very, it was a movie. It was called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. And I just want to apologize ahead of time. The audio you guys can hear everything, but Discord wasn't being nice to us that day. So the audio is a little weird for on Tony and Dan and Angela's side. It's just, I hate audio for podcasting, but that's kind of how it all works.
We're trying.
We're doing our best here. But I'm very excited for you all to listen to this episode because it was an absolute blast. Not just because we talked about a really shitty movie, but because I had I had Tony from Hack the Movies on the show, and he's one of my favorite podcasters. He's just a great guy with a great channel that you should check out. So make sure to check that episode out on Friday, and make sure to check out our episode that we released last week, which was on Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Not a lot of people are listening to it, but I think you should, because it's a fucking great episode, as are all of our episodes.
Exactly.
Okay, hey, listen, if you can't see it, you can at least listen to it.
Exactly. And if you don't want to watch the movie because you've heard bad things about it, at least listen to our episode about it, because it's probably better than watching the movie itself.
It could be. It's
exactly.
True.
All right. Well, I think that's all of our rigmarole today. So thank you very much. We appreciate all the support and love, and we will see you all again next time. I'm Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming, and this has been another episode of Fresh Cuts. We'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Remember, kids, don't do drugs.